Over the years, the daily use of a Breitling chronograph inevitably dulls its initial radiance. A polishing operation performed during a maintenance overhaul can make it look as good as new by erasing scratches and other signs of wear or dents. This operation is more complex than it might appear and calls for the dismantling and restoration of all the parts composing the case. Each must be individually dealt with. Respecting the original shapes and proportions is crucial. This calls upon not only the experience and the dexterity of the polisher, but also the use of dedicated apparatus and tools, such as this lathe, fitted with a felt disc coated with a slightly abrasive paste to erase scratches, signs of wear, or dents. Or this lapping machine for correcting a damaged case rim and restoring its sharp angles. The finishing is performed using a felt disc and a polishing cloth. The various types of polishing paste enable the operator to achieve just the right degree of polish. On this case middle, for example, the upper part is satin brushed in 2 successive stages. First, with a nylon fiber brush encrusted with abrasive grains, and then with an emery cloth adjusted to the desired texture. Here we can see that the back of this model features polished inscriptions on a satin-brushed background. In a first stage, the marks of wear are erased with a felt disc. Then the polisher performs the satin brushing along the vertical axis. A protective lacquer is applied to the entire surface. After drying, the embossed inscriptions are polished, being careful not to attack the protective coating applied to the satin brushed part. The lacquer is now dissolved, and it's time to refresh the sandblasted zones on the back. Adhesive tape is applied to the entire surface, and then cut out so as to expose the parts requiring treatment. The sandblaster propels tiny silicone beads, each around 1/10,000th of a millimeter, against the surface at a pressure of 4 bars. Appropriate ultrasound cleaning and drying are required between each of these operations. Meanwhile, the bezel features a rounded and polished outer rim. It is restored using a specific tool called a bobino. Its upper part is sloping and flat, which calls for renovation on the polishing lathe. Each rider tab comprises 2 rounded polished parts and a satin-brushed flat surface. The operation begins with polishing. Followed by satin brushing. The rider tab and bezel screws are systematically replaced. Refurbishing the bracelet involves dismantling it into 5 parts. The 2 sections at 12 and 6 o'clock, its clasp, its cover, and its safety fastening device. The folding clasp is polished in 2 stages, first using a felt disc and then with a polishing cloth. The polisher revives the shine of the bracelet sections, the cover, and the safety fastening device, following the same sequences of an initial overall operation, followed by fine-tuning. The bracelet shown here is satin brushed top and bottom, and then polished on the side. As in all polishing operations, one must be careful not to alter the original shape of the links. The experience and dexterity of the polisher plays an essential role here. Only professional polishing can restore the initial beauty of a Breitling chronograph and make it as good as new.